Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku charts.com hourly analysis for the Euro US dollar FX for Tuesday, February 12th, 2013. Well, an important trading day today in terms of the Ichimoku indicators, and here we've seen quite a few of our indicators act as areas of support or resistance for this market. Here, highlighting very strongly, we saw the bottom of the cloud hold as support for the market, and today the top of the cloud holding as resistance, and the other Ichimoku indicators acting as support throughout the latter part of the day here, and especially over the last hour or two the Tenkan-sen has held a strong support. But opening the trading day, the market was testing down around the middle line of the pivot points. That's the actual pivot point itself, this blue dotted line, and it can act as an area of support or resistance. The market began trading up above there, and sometimes that can set the tone for the market and suggest that we will have an up day, and eventually that did occur, but the market did trade down below there, trading within the cloud at that time. So we had a neutral market in big picture terms, and then with the market testing down below the support offered at the pivot point, we saw the market initially finding support at the Kijun-sen, and then test down to the bottom of the cloud and find support around the bottom of the cloud. We had one bearish close down below the cloud, but considering that we had this pivot point just below there, the pivot point support, the first level, and we saw the buyers coming in around that level very strongly. Here we saw these tests for 2 of these hours testing down around that level, and very strong price rejection from that area. From that area we then saw the market rally to within the cloud and a very, very bullish candle test up to the first pivot point level of resistance and find resistance there, but the second hour of trading following that tested exactly to the second pivot point resistance and sold off from that area, and this highlights how well the pivot points act as area of support or resistance in these markets. That area also coincided with the top of the cloud, and price action was very strongly rejected from there. In this candle we saw the buyers lose control of the market and the sellers attempt to take control, and they did for the next 3 trading sessions, with the market then finding support at the Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen, and we saw this indecisive spinning top type candle around this area. The market rally towards this area, this zone where we had the second pivot point resistance level and the top of the cloud, and the market sell off to find support at the Tenkan-sen. Now at the moment the market is trading just above the Tenkan-sen and above the cloud, so we've had a breakout up above the cloud, and technically we do have a bullish market in all 3 time frames at the moment, so a bullish market, and we should be looking to higher levels. There is a possibility of this market now testing up to the 134.85 level, or even up to the first level of the pivot point resistance around the 135 level, and that 135 has been an important area as a zone down to around this 134.85 area, so very strong resistance overhead. The Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen should hold, or has potential to hold, as an area of support for this market if it does come off, and they're trading at 134.42 and 134.19. But we also have the pivot point, the middle line just around that area at 134.30, and down below there 134 coincides with an area around the cloud, and that will act as an area of support, and it coincides also with the first pivot point level of support, and that will be fairly strong because of the confluence of that support from the cloud as well. The area of the cloud, however, around this area here, and for most of the trading day, is quite thin, so the amount of support that it will offer is very much less than the previous day's trading, where we saw this very wide level of cloud. So be aware of that if we do test down there, there is a possibility of a breakout down below there in if we do have a solid bearish breakout, we could see the market trade to substantial levels below, and especially down to 133.20. So for today's trading, we have our levels here at the moment. The market is bullish in all 3 time frames. There is a possibility of a rally up to the 134.85 level, but we do need to watch the areas of support that are close by, with the pivot point and the 2 Ichimoku indicators around from 134.40 down to around 134.19.